Welcome everyone to Caleb Watches Movies, the channel where I, Caleb, randomly select one of the many movies that I own. I watch and review them for you, and today it is the end of the year, the end of this god-awful year of 2020, so what better way to wrap up this god-awful year than talk about some god-awful movies that I watched and reviewed this year. Now, I just released my top 10 favorite movies that I reviewed in 2020 a couple of days ago, so if you haven't seen that, after watching this, go over there and check that one out. But the concept here is, instead of other YouTube channels and movie reviewers who review and make lists around this time of the best and worst films that were released in 2020. Last year I started a concept where I would review the top 10 and worst 10 films that I reviewed and published reviews on in that year. So because 2020 is the year that it is, if any of you see movie reviewers out there that are starting to do this concept just to kind of pull something out there so they can put a ranking video out at the end of the year, just know that this guy was the first one to do that concept. So these films are the top 10 worst films that I reviewed this year. Let's check them out, starting at number 10. Number 10 is a movie that is just so bad, it's so wonderful and so good, I could watch this thing on a loop. A movie by the name of The Fanatic, starring John Travolta and directed by Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. You talk about a complete miss. It's this movie, but it's a miss in all of the good and laughable ways. He sought out to make a horror thriller crime movie, and what we got is one of the funniest movies I have seen in recent memory. This guy is a fanatic to this big action star played by Devon Sawa. Why he's a big fanatic of this guy, we don't really know. It's never explained. All we know is that he just is. It's Hunter Dunbar! I love Hunter Dunbar! And he will go to any length to finally get that autograph from this actor who, for whatever reason, just doesn't want to give it to him. John Travolta's wig, his impersonation of someone with a mental handicap, it's offensive, but it's so hilarious. I could listen to his character say the word poppycock until the end of time.
Poppycock! Poppycock!
Need I say more? At number 9 is a film that I just reviewed on this channel by the name of Santa Jaws, and the less said about this movie the better. The kid who is grounded for drawing inappropriate things at school gets this magical pen and draws a shark, and everything that he draws comes to life. So this shark has a Santa hat on and is attracted to Christmas music, and that's what drags him in to kill people. And the only thing that can kill the shark is Christmas-themed stuff. It's a shark movie on the Sci-Fi Network. So I guess what was I expecting? But it's a movie that randomly popped up on my Twitter feed, and that's why I reviewed it, because I saw this image of this shark with this candy cane horn jumping out of the water and stabbing this guy on a deck. I just thought to myself, yes, I must watch this movie. Thank God it's free on Amazon Prime. If I would have paid money to see this, it would have hurt much more. Number 8 is an independent screener that I got from the horror review website gingernutsofhorror.com. Great website where you can go to review or see a bunch of reviews on books, TVs, and films, all dealing with the horror genre. One of the best things to happen to me this year in 2020 is my collaboration with them and their creator, Jim McLeod. He's great, he's tremendous, he supports me a lot. This was a screener that was in the whole bundle of movie screeners that they have. Watched it, and my God, is it fucking depressing. There's this contagious sickness that if you get it, you realize that, oh God, you're gonna die tomorrow. And if you go to someone else, you'll start talking about the fact that you are going to die tomorrow, and those people that are listening to you get infected with it and start realizing that, oh hey, I'm going to die tomorrow. So it's a bunch of people dealing with the concept of what is a normality when it comes to human beings and just life on this planet in general, that yes, you are eventually going to die. It could be tomorrow, it could be weeks from now, it could be years from now, but yes, you are going to die. So a movie that talks about one of the biggest fears that a lot of people, the majority of people, have, coping with the fact that yes, I'm going to die. Why would I want to watch a movie about that? It's a drag, it's slow, a couple of big-name actors show up in here because they're friends of the director. That's the only thing that I can come up with. But it's pure torture, just from the whole concept. There's no way I can recommend this movie. Don't ever see it. It's terrible. It's awful. At number 7 is one of the main reasons why the whole Fox-Marvel situation came to an end, or at least started to come to an end. That's a movie called Elektra. You talk about missing the mark on everything with that character, it's this movie. The only positive thing I can say about it is that Jennifer Garner tries really, really hard to give anything for this role. And I like her as Elektra, I really do. It's just the film that this character is in sucks. And the studio knew it sucked too, because they pulled a lot of its funding and they still hadn't shot a lot of key scenes that they were about to or scheduled to, so things had to be changed, edits needed to happen, scenes needed to be switched, and we got what we got. A guy with CGI tattoos that come to life and come after you. And then this whole problem of, oh, we need to find the key because the key is the balance between the Foot Clan and the hand, or whatever the ninja squads are. Key is the balance, and we need to get the key to bring them over to our side. But if you're trying to get the key, the thing that's balancing the both of you onto one side, wouldn't that not balance the thing? Whatever the thing is. I don't know. At number 6 is another screener that I got from gingernutsofhorror.com by the name of A Nun's Curse. A bunch of teenagers check out an old convent where there was this nurse who went around to all the prisoners and killed them. So of course, when they go back several years after that, there's the spirit of this nun, kind of like zombie creature, and goes around killing everyone. She slits their throats and stabs guys in the dick. And apparently that kills them, like right away. It's hilarious. The main problem I have with this movie, and here's a small little spoiler, but don't worry, you're not going to see this movie. It's all a dream. It never, ever, ever happened. And I absolutely hate that trope in movies. All the bad things that happen in the film, they never happen. It's all a bad dream. Might I respond with an appropriate? That's what I think of your bullshit ending. Number 5 is a Sylvester Stallone movie by the name of Oscar. I feel really bad about putting this movie on this list because it came from like my biggest supporters and donors on this channel, Mr. and Mrs. Rusted Beetle. They recommended this one. This was actually a PayPal donation. They actually paid money for me to watch and review this film. And I feel terrible, but I have to put it on this list because it annoyed the fuck out of me. Sylvester Stallone trying to be the comedic actor, and yes, you can tell he does have some comedic chops, but I think the only way he knows about how to play comedy is just to shout and be big the entire time.
What, you saying you want to marry my daughter? What are you talking about? You don't have the money.
It's an hour and a half of that. I can see how this whole concept and situation could play well maybe in a play setting and with any other actors, but here, we're trying to make this action star, Sylvester Stallone, trying to make him into a comedy star like Arnold Schwarzenegger did successfully. It is not happening with this guy.
I gotta make Oscar number 5. Sorry.
At number 4 is another screener that I got from gingernutsofhorror.com, dealing with the horror of freezing to death, a movie by the name of Centigrade. And do you know how exciting it is to watch 2 people freeze to death in a car? It's not. And I remember the emotional response that this film got out of me. Yet it's boring for the first like 30 minutes, but then all of a sudden, at the 30-minute mark, the woman gives birth to her child. And now they're enclosed in this car with a screaming baby. I get if you have children that's going to be a norm for you for the first couple of years. It's just going to be them screaming a lot. Hey, feed me or change my diaper, or I'm tired. Please hold me. But I don't have children and I don't want children. I made the choice to watch this movie. I want to watch this movie for my review. But now you're subjecting me to this torture that I didn't sign up for. How fucking dare you? And the substance of the film, of course, it's this bickering married couple back and forth. Oh, I lost my job. I'm so jealous of your success because you're a professional writer, and that's why we're here. And then aside from that, they're just slowly freezing to death for an hour and a half, and it's boring as fuck. Don't watch this movie. Just don't. At number 3 is a recommendation from one of my longtime friends, my former technical director in the theater when I was in college, Jerry Dennis. He recommended a film called The Taint, and it's free on YouTube. Thank God. An independent film, like an independent film. There's a bunch of people getting together, great friends who just want to shoot a movie about water that's tainted. See, that's where the word tainted comes from. Water that's tainted that turns men into bonerific zombies that try to kill women. I mean, how many fake penises coming on screen can I deal with? I know there are certain websites that can fulfill that fantasy for people if you have that fantasy, but I don't. That's what I got here. It's one of those films that could be considered so bad it's good. And yes, at some points I'm laughing, just being uncomfortable, and just at the stupidity that I'm seeing on screen. I'm never going to downgrade a couple of people getting together, a couple of friends getting together and just wanting to shoot a movie, because that builds your filmmaking skills and your resume. It's just... seeing it here, the writing of this movie, I just see a bunch of guys sitting around and being like, let's talk about our dicks, guys! Not good. At number 2 is another recommendation. I feel like a lot of these movies on this list are recommendations of films that people thought I would like, but then watching it, I just didn't. And this one came from Alex Miner, who recommended the film Romance and Cigarettes, a musical directed by John Turturro, which is one of the worst films I have ever seen. It's not a musical in the sense that, oh, hey, we're listening to the actors on screen sing the songs, or at least their characters sing the songs. No, these characters are singing along with the actual song that's being sung. So it's a jukebox musical. These songs are previously established and they're just imported into the story. And these characters are singing along with the actual artist who's singing the song. I don't know. Susan Sarandon is here, thinking that she's all that. I do not like her as an actress. She's just gotten worse over time. You do have Kate Winslet in a very sexy red dress, and I think that was the selling point that Alex made to me. And you're damn right, she is damn sexy in that dress. And actually, she's the best part of this entire movie. It's about a guy who cheats on his wife, who's trying to win her back, and her trying to figure out, oh, should I take him back, or should I just keep on living? I'm sorry, when the plot is that, I am not interested, because no, you shouldn't get back together. He fucked up. You should move on with your life. I don't know what the whole complication is with this. This film is terrible. Never see it. And the worst film that I reviewed on this channel in the year of 2020, this year that is such a crap year, it has to match the shit that I saw literally on screen in this film, a movie called Human Zoo, that I'm not kidding, takes the crown as the worst movie I have ever seen. A bunch of these people are signing up and auditioning for this reality show. You are locked in solitary confinement, and whoever lasts the longest wins the prize money. So what we get is about 12 or 15 people locked in their own solitary confined concrete cell, screaming at the screen for about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. And it doesn't build to a climax, doesn't build to any point at all. It's shot as if we are the audience actually watching the reality show, and this camera is just up in the corner watching this person. They get food delivered to them, and they have a bucket in the corner to do their business, and we see all these people slowly go crazy, scream at the camera, start throwing feces at the camera, playing with feces on the walls, and it leads to nothing. The film just ends. And there was an arrangement where if you couldn't take it any longer, you would put up an X, or you would do whatever the symbol was to signal that, hey, I give up, I quit. And the creator never came to break them out and release them. They all just stayed there. So some people you slowly see die, hang themselves. One person actually does like a karate break the neck, and they killed themselves that way, which I gotta be honest, I've never seen before. But it's like the writers wrote an Act 1 and maybe an Act 2 for a movie, and then just stopped for whatever reason. There is no explanation as to why this happened. There's no indication as to, oh, this was a reference to certain political beliefs or certain messages about programming when it comes to TV. No, this was just, hey, let's put people in a room, let's have them throw poop at the screen, and that's great cinema. It's complete shit. Figuratively and literally, complete shit. It's the biggest not recommend that I could give to anyone. No one should ever see this film. The creators of this film should be ashamed of themselves and should be put, like, in the corner and not do movies for a very long time until they learn their lesson. Just shit. All on the screen. And that's it, everyone. That is my list of the worst films that I reviewed in 2020. If there's anything that's going to sum up this year as a whole, 2020 as a whole, it's this list. And actually, it's that movie. It's Human Zoo. It's complete shit. That's what this year is. Which means that in 2021, it can only get better. And hopefully it does. So for those of you that have followed me this year in 2020, what did you think of my list? Is there some on here that I left off that you thought were going to make the list? Or what's your list of the worst films that you watched this year in 2020? Whatever you thought, comment below. Let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next year in 2021. But in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.